going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Road to Infinity War here at The Real Talk, where we're counting down and reviewing all the MCU films that come before, you guessed it, Avengers Infinity War, which is just a couple days away, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I just want to see it already. But with that out of the way, today we're going to be talking all about Doctor Strange, which released back in 2016, directed by Scott Derrickson, and obviously starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rachel McAdams, Mads Mikkelsen, and Tilda Swinton. And like always, we do have a special guest, or in this case, two special guests, and that is the BS Review. So guys, take it away.
First of all, thank you to Real Talk for hosting us on his channel for his Road to Infinity War series. We've been following this since he started it, and it's been a lot of fun. For those of you who are unfamiliar with us, we are the BS Review. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Steven.
And we are a married couple who films out of Texas, and we love movies, which is why we're here.
And so we're going to hop right into it and review Doctor Strange. Now, let's go back. The first time we saw this in theaters, I was whelmed.
I was unimpressed.
Yeah, I thought, it was good. But it wasn't great. But it wasn't bad.
But then a second watch, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie on a second watch. I don't know if I just, needed a second one to really, take it all in. I don't know. Sometimes you just need to watch things a couple times before you, really form your opinion.
So while we did like this movie a lot more on the second watch, we did have a couple negatives, so we'll get those out of the way first. Our first negative is that, as with most Marvel movies, the love interest is pretty underused. Rachel McAdams is a really great actress, and while she did have some screen time in this movie, I felt like you could have deleted her character from the entire film, and it would have operated the exact same way, which is never a great thing for what is the love interest of your main character.
Another negative about this movie is that it does feel a little bit rushed overall. There are a lot of parts, especially at the beginning, where they're trying to get through the origin story aspect of it, which on one hand I do appreciate because origin stories are a little played out, but at the same time it did add that rushed feeling to the film.
And Mads Mikkelsen is, dreadfully underused in this movie as well. He plays an amazing Hannibal Lecter in the show Hannibal. We know he can do, a really creepy, great, strong villain, and instead he feels a little bit like evil Doctor Strange throughout the movie, which is kind of derivative of a lot of Marvel movies, as their villain is just the bad version. So I think they could have let him play with his character a little more and bring the villain that we know that guy can portray to the screen more.
That's really the only negatives we had about this film, so now let's talk about what we love about this film, and one of those things is definitely the visuals. There is a lot of CGI that goes into this movie just because of the nature of Doctor Strange's abilities, and they're done really well. I think they're very believable. They pop on screen, and they don't feel like you're looking at a green screen created product.
And with those great visuals come great set pieces. We remarked several times as we were watching this film for the second time that the set pieces were very interesting and very novel. They were very fresh to me. At first it's a little Inception-y with the buildings kind of folding over each other, but they quickly move beyond that and you get a lot of cool fight scenes and cool areas. It was great.
And along with that, that brings a lot of the Doctor Strange-specific universe within the Marvel Universe that's left to be explored. We definitely see a lot of things hinted at or touched on in this movie that I am definitely interested in exploring further in, I believe, what will be a second Doctor Strange film. Maybe we'll see it a little bit in a couple of Infinity Wars, but I kind of doubt it.
I think my favorite part of this film is that the ending is very different from a lot of Marvel movies in that there wasn't necessarily, there was a big battle scene, but that wasn't the ending of the movie. And without getting into spoilers, I really appreciated that Doctor Strange was allowed to use his wits, and it wasn't a mistake on the part of the villain or anything like that. He just came up with a good way to defeat that guy that wasn't punching him in the face a lot. It was, like we said, really interesting and new.
Overall, I think this is an excellent Marvel film. I don't know if it's in my top 5 or anything like that, but it's definitely one that I enjoyed a rewatch of and would enjoy further rewatches of, and I'm very interested to see where Doctor Strange's character goes further in the Marvel Universe.
And I think they set that up really well for Infinity War. This is, after all, the Road to Infinity War series, and I think his character has a lot of interesting implications, and I think he's going to be a major player when it comes to Thanos and everything going on, and he's in the trailers a lot, so I think he's going to have a big part to play, and I'm also really excited for his friendship with Peter Parker that looks like is going to pop up on screen during that movie.
Let's hope his time on screen in the trailers is not indicative of a terrible end. We'll see. Well, I feel like sometimes in trailers they
That's true.
put a lot of a certain character in, and then it's because they die and they want to draw you in with that person and then punch you in the gut.
I don't think they can kill Doctor Strange.
I hope
so early.
not.
He has a second movie already on the
That's
schedule,
true.
so
it's
there's
not
no way.
on the table, we think. I definitely think that Infinity War is going to be groundbreaking in superhero films. We have such a huge cast of characters in this film. I'm very interested to see how the Russo brothers balanced that, especially because some of the Avengers movies have not always been the best at balancing a lot of characters, but we have new directors, and I'm hoping that brings something new to the table.
Like we said at the beginning of our part, we are the BS Review, and we really appreciate the Real Talk inviting us onto his show for the Road to Infinity War, and so we're going to pass it back over to him to give you his ideas on the movie.
All right, Brittany and Steven, thank you so much for that awesome review of Doctor Strange. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this Road to Infinity War with me and everybody else. Really means a lot. And guys, if you guys have not checked out the BS Review, please go ahead and check out their channel. All their links is going to be in the description down below. They have such great content, such unique content as well. If you guys are fans of Westworld or even Game of Thrones, they do a lot of stuff on that as well. So go ahead and check them out and tell them John from The Real Talk sent you. But with all that out of the way, guys, we're going to be talking about my thoughts and review of Doctor Strange. Alright everyone, so let's head back to 2016. And Doctor Strange actually, if you guys think about it, had a very difficult task in following up a movie like Captain America Civil War. And before the movie itself, I didn't really know much about Doctor Strange other than what I read in the Infinity Gauntlet graphic novel. I didn't really know much about his character or powers and stuff like that, so I was really excited to get to know more about him before, obviously, Avengers Infinity War comes out. So yeah, I saw the movie. I believe I saw it in IMAX for the first time, and that's always the way to go if you guys can see a Marvel movie or a movie in that stature in IMAX. And I really, really enjoyed it, but I felt like something was missing from it. And you know, like Brittany and Steven said, the second time I was able to enjoy it more because I was already know what to expect, you know. So I wasn't, you know, really looking for anything like groundbreaking or anything like that. Already, okay, this is what I got, so let me enjoy it for what it is. And to be honest, even this time rewatching it, I really had a good time. I enjoyed the movie, I enjoyed the performances, like we'll talk about a little bit later. And but there was just a few negatives, so let's get those out of the way. Alright, so starting off with my first negative, you guys know this about me, if you guys have been following the Road to Infinity War series, I have something about the MCU, I call it the MCU effect, where they have these such great character moments, and you know, these moments for the heroes to shine, but they kind of, you know, diminish it with a joke, or you know, some sort of humor. And like I said, I'm a fan of humor, and when it can get it right, when it's natural, when it fits the characters, I'm all for that. But in some of these MCU movies, they kind of just put it there just to have a moment to laugh. Like in this case, when Doctor Strange first puts on the cape, or the cape, you know, chooses him, and then that little scene, you know, he puts it on, goes to him, and I guess he has like glass or something, or he has like a something on his face where he tries to wipe it off. He's, oh, you know, stop, you know. And that would have been a great character moment. And kind of, it seems kind of cheesy when you think about it. His cape goes on. He's like, okay, I'm ready, you know. But I don't know. Moments like that is what, for me, kind of, okay, this is a hero. Like, the hero finally realizes what he has to do to face the villain or something like that, you know. So in this movie, it does have a few of those moments, but it does have some jokes that, for me, this time around, you know, maybe at the theater, I laughed with everybody else laughing. But, you know, like I always said, in the MCU, the jokes hit and sometimes they don't hit, and more often than not, in this one I was just kind of like, okay, that was funny, I guess, but not really. Alright, so going on with my next negative, I feel like the BS Review touched upon this a little bit. They didn't really use Mads Mikkelsen up to par like we would like. Also, I found the villain in his own rights kind of, you know, we got to figure out why he was doing what he was doing, but, you know, again, not enough was there for us to kind of be like, oh crap, like, you know, we're not really necessarily rooting for him, but we don't really, you know, we kind of understand him. There's not enough to make us understand why he was like that. And I'm not saying make every villain an anti-hero or something like that, or make every villain sympathetic, but again, it just wasn't really there, and I get it. This is the first Doctor Strange movie. This is supposed to be purely about him, but give us a little bit more villain-wise. But again, Mads Mikkelsen is great. I agree, his performance was pretty great, but like again, I guess there wasn't enough there for him to really feast on. Also, this time around, I found it kind of really bothered me that, you know, Doctor Strange was just able to go to the hospital whenever he wanted, whenever he was hurt or somebody else was hurt. He was just able to go in there without questions asked, without anybody says, why do you keep letting this stranger here? Or, you know, oh, well, why do you keep letting this doctor? I know he used to work there, but it's like, okay, he could just come in there and operate on someone whenever he wants, or on himself or something, you know? I don't know. This time around, it was kind of like, I don't know, I was like, why isn't there more, like, questions about this, you know? But, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Other than that, I feel like the ending kind of bothered me in the sense of, like, it kind of just ends. We don't really find out much about the character of, I know that Brittany and Steven touched upon this, that Rachel McAdams' character is not really up to par with what we would like. Obviously, kind of like Natalie Portman, stuff like that. But I don't know, I just felt like there was something missing, kind of closing that chapter. I know he puts on the watch at the end, you know, she gave him that watch when they were, you know, a thing, when they were going out. But I don't know, I felt like there should have been a closing scene with them kind of being, okay, you know what, this is what I have to do. I love you, you know, we kind of, you know, we're kind of flirting with the idea of maybe doing something again, but you know, this is what I have to do now that you see what I'm involved with. Or something. I don't know, maybe it's going to be handled in the sequel, I don't know. But I would like the little scene wrapping that up. But I think that should be it for my negatives, so let's head to my positives. Alright, so like I alluded to a little bit earlier in the review, where we're talking about Mads Mikkelsen and his performance, I feel like the performances all around, even Rachel McAdams, she didn't really take me out of the story like something like a Kat Dennings or even Natalie Portman did in the Thor franchise. I thought she was serviceable, like she did what she had to do in those scenes. Again, it wasn't really enough for her and kind of that even character to be there. It was kind of just, you know, for Doctor Strange's arc. And that also leads to my other positive, other than the performances. Chiwetel Ejiofor was great. Tilda Swinton was great. I know there was a whole little controversy about, you know, her being a white actress and stuff like that. But I thought, you know, through it all, I thought everybody, even, like I said, I was going to say Mads Mikkelsen again. Everybody did a pretty good job. But what I was going to say other than that was the character arc for Doctor Strange, for Stephen Strange in this, was pretty solid. I really liked that he was kind of a Tony Stark-ish character where he was kind of, you know, he was just rich, he was a surgeon, he was kind of cocky and arrogant. He was like, okay, I believe I'm the best, you know, doctor around. And, you know, he opens up his little thing. He has all the watches. He likes to dress nice and drive fancy cars. And he's operating. And at the same time, he's trying to get these questions right from the music that's playing. And also Michael Stahlberg in another great movie, too. He was kind of just there. But anyways, so I thought the character from him going through that, and obviously when he goes to, alright, sorry about that, guys, but like I was saying, when Stephen Strange, when he goes to where the Ancient One is, you can see him, he's kind of willing and able to learn. He says, like, come on, teach me, like, you know, but he's kind of doing it for his own purposes. He wants to have his old life back until the end when the Ancient One, you know, obviously she dies. He kind of realizes that when she, you know, delivers her last lines or that scene, you know. So he kind of fully realizes, you know what, it's time to stop thinking about myself, you know. So I really like that arc, and I thought it was really well done in Doctor Strange. Alright, so going on with my positives, I really like the CGI and the effects that this movie has, like Steven and Brittany was saying. I think it really holds up. Obviously, it's just been like 2 years, but I feel like overall, it does have a lot of great effects, especially dealing with something like, you know, obviously Doctor Strange's powers and all the multiverses and stuff like that. I thought that was really handled well and looks great on screen. Like I said, I saw it in IMAX, so that was great to see on an IMAX screen. And also the action was really well done too. A lot of the fighting, again, something like, it reminds me like something of like Ant-Man, because we have never seen kind of this power on the big screen before, like an Ant-Man or Doctor Strange, where he's doing these spells and stuff like that, and the worlds are all twisting and turning and all that stuff. So I thought all that was really well done. Alright everyone, so with that being said, I have to give Doctor Strange a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's a great, fun, entertaining movie with a great character arc, some great acting, great action and visual effects, but it does have elements of the film that bring it down for me. But overall, I think it's a solid MCU film, and it's worth the watch. But alright guys, let Brittany, Steven, and myself know what you guys thought on the film in the comment section down below. And guys, again, all their links are going to be in the description down below, so go make sure to subscribe to them and tell them John from The Real Talk sent you. You guys won't be disappointed, I promise. And guys, the road to Infinity War is coming to an end in our next review, and that is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that I did with my good friend Jordan from Room 666. So I'm so excited for that. Make sure to tune in for that. And also tune in this Thursday night. Right after I see the film, I'm going to be doing a live stream with my good friend Ramos from Ramos Screen. He reviewed Avengers with me, so if you guys want to check that out, link to that, it's going to be in the description down below as well. So make sure to tune in Thursday night after you guys saw the movie as well to come join in a full spoiler discussion with me and Rama. So tune in for that as well. But alright guys, if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, you guys can at The Real Talk, Talk with 2Ks, on Twitter and Instagram. You guys can also find me on Stardust, doing my early reactions to movie and TV shows, just at The Real Talk. Until next time, I'll see you at the movies. Later guys.